that it was so picky. Anyway, Momiji's warning has been issued to everybody, except me, of course. So as you know, chat, this video game, odds are this is gonna be a multi-part one, but I'm aiming to do the first half. I'm really excited for what this is. I just finished Phoenix Wright 1. I've been binging the shit out of it. It's great. Here we go. But we have the next case in this game, Doll Judgment. An incident occurs in the Forest of Magic and the suspect is Alice Margatroyd, and Aya can't defend her. But the Yama has a plan. A legal team to rival Aya and Momiji has appeared. So, I don't know what this means. Phoenix Wright has a lot of good cases in it. It's a good series. It's a lot of fun. Great characters, great stories, great writing. Courthouse main office, April 15th, 10:23. This is turning out to be quite the headache. Our sole lawyer is unavailable. Yes, and we have already arrested a suspect. On that note, is the prosecution prepared to handle the situation? There is nothing to worry about on that end, but the same cannot be said of the defense. Indeed, Aya is already occupied preparing for the trial of Sho Toramaru. Oh, I see. I forget which case this was. Was this case 2 or 3 in the third game? But there was definitely a case where Sho was convicted of something. Was it Rainbow Stone? Was that what it was? Should we wait until that trial is over and done with? Of course, that is one option we have. But in the meantime, prospective evidence might vanish or the witness's memory of events might fade. 3-2, Rainbow's insurance fraud. Okay, yeah, I remember one of the cases where Sho was the defendant. And this would make for neither a fair nor speedy trial for the defendant. I see, that is certainly true. Well, if the suspect admitted to the crime, there might not be no need for a court trial, but this is not the case. Quite right. That a substitute attorney will have to be appointed. Very well, I already have someone in mind, so you can be at ease. Understood, we thank you in advance. My goodness, as if I didn't have enough to deal with already. Am I in heaven? Oh shit! Oh shit! Heyo, is Miss Tenshi Hinanai on the premises? We got our defense team. Oh, if it isn't the Shinigami from down below. Have you finally come to reap my soul? I told you before that ain't my department. I just gotta deliver a letter from Lady Aki to you. A letter from the Yama. Anyways, you should come by and see Lady Aki once you're done reading. After all, you've got time to kill, don't you, princess? I'm not sure I like your tone. Aki's letter was received. A letter from the Yama, Aki Shiki, was delivered to me by her servant Komachi. I don't know what's inside. Well, my work here is done, so I'll be going. What on earth could this be about? I don't remember doing anything to hurt the Yama's feelings lately. Good morning, young Lady Hinanai. How does the day find you? Well, that's, that art looks different. But I can't remember what she looked like in the bonus case from way back when. But this is definitely Iku. It's definitely an art style glow up, like the Patchy and Sanai got. Ah, Iku, for once, it's good thing you're here. Has something happened? I suppose you could say that. Oh. Aki's letter. Here, Iku, read this. A letter? How unusually decorous of you, Lady Hinanai. Or is that something you cannot bear to say out loud? Don't be stupid. This is my mail. I need you to read it for me. I am very sorry to hear that. But take heart. If you apply yourself, I am certain that one day, you too will be able to read. Stop playing around. Just be quiet and read. Now, what have we here? I hereby invite Miss Tenshi Hinanai to take part in today's upcoming trial as attorney for the defendant. Please visit me at court at your earliest convenience. Aki Shiki. Iku, just throw that over the edge here. I cannot do such a thing. You have been called upon, and so you must go. You must be kidding. Why should I go crawling in the dirt, all to help some complete stranger I don't care about? Would it not make for a way to kill time? You don't understand a thing. If it's for someone else's sake, it's only drudgery. Why not look at it like this? If you save the defendant, you might be able to benefit from their gratitude. Surely you would enjoy having more underlings at your beck and call. That is true. I didn't consider that. The young heiress of Hinanai is quite self-serving, but that does make her simple to understand. Did you say something? Oh no, nothing. Let us away, Lady Hinanai. There are those who need our help. I might as well go listen to what the Yama has to say. I can always turn it down if it sounds too annoying. Eiki's letter was returned to the court record. Okay. Time to kill. I'm bored. Is that so? Do you not have anything else to say? I'm so bored I could die. But Lady Hinanai, every single time we meet, they're the first words to leave your mouth. And as a result, I fear I have exhausted my repertoire of retorts. Then go look for some entertaining stories for me. And once you return, once you found something worthwhile. Would it not be better for you to do this yourself? Do I look like one of those Tengu to you? And even if I was, having servants provide grist for my mill suits me much better. My word. So whoever you might have been, it seems you were fated to become a millstone, Lady Hinanai. Iku, I see you've been honing your skills. I received plenty of practice. It's amazing out there. Heaven is above the clouds, so we never get any rain. Look at these rocks. The lake gets so dazzling in the morning sun, it's a bit of a nuisance. You can see a waterfall from here. I think the others use it for training. 10:45, courthouse, main office. Thank you for coming so promptly. I still cannot believe you are asking me to be a lawyer. I thought that letter was some kind of joke. I have faith in your potential, Tenshi, and I knew you would oblige me if asked. Spare me the empty flattery. I'm sure you'd say the same to anyone you'd try to push this on. I suppose that is true, as far as courtesies are concerned, but there is another meaning to my words. Another meaning. You may or may not be aware of it, but Aya Shimemadu is occupied with another unrelated case today. That being the case, we need a substitute lawyer. And of all people I could have asked, I sent for you first. Do you understand the reason why? Because it is of grave import I begin doing good deeds before it's too late? How thoughtful of you. I'm touched, truly. Regrettably, it isn't my place to impose performing good deeds on you. I chose you first because I believe taking on this case is something only you can do. After all, aside from our police, there is no one with more experience standing in court than you. That might be right, but that Tengu had no experience being a lawyer in the beginning herself. You already gave that job to someone who had no idea what they were doing and had no problems with that, didn't you? After I thought back to your times in court, I became convinced that you would be perfect for this task. I do not believe you are lacking in comparison to Aya, be it in intellect or ingenuity, and so I have decided to take that gamble. Well, it does feel quite nice to have you recognize it. But don't think I made up my mind yet. This could still turn out to be just a waste of time. In any case, it would be best for you to at least meet with the defendant, don't you think? Show them my letter, and I have no doubts the police will understand the circumstances. Right, I might as well. Once you come to a decision, please return here and let me know. I will be looking forward to a favorable reply. Fine, but you shouldn't get your hopes up. By the way, you said there would be another trial today, so what will your schedule be like? First, we will begin the trial of Sho Toramaru early in the afternoon, as is the norm. And once that concludes, I will open the proceedings for the second trial immediately. So you'll be busy today. Quite. It never occurred to me that a situation like this might come up. It is rather unprecedented for two separate incidents to occur on the same day. Indeed, 2 incidents would be quite enough already. What is that supposed to mean? Pardon me, I was only talking to myself. Please pay it no mind. It isn't like the Yama to let her mind wander like this. How curious. Alright. I just want to go back to heaven. 1102 Scarlet Devil Mansion Holding Cell. I still can't get over it. What is wrong with these police people? They just wouldn't accept I've been made a lawyer even after I stuck that proof in their faces. Well, that would be because of your usual behavior, would it not? Did they want me to burst into tears in the end? Truth be told, they might have immediately believed you if you started crying. Hey, isn't it quite rude to ignore your host and make a stink as you please? Even if it's only for the time being, these are my chambers right now. My, you will have to pardon me, your ladyship. Your filthy clothes blend in so well with this dingy room, I never noticed you. My, so what does the most spoiled princess in heaven and earth want with the filthy occupant of this dingy room? You should be more careful how you speak to me. I have been tapped as your court-appointed attorney. That might be the least amusing joke I've ever heard. Why can't everybody just stay quiet and listen to what I tell them? Well, you are reaping the usual consequences of your usual behavior. Do they want me to burst into tears? Lady Heen and I, please do not actually start crying. In any case, we must hear the client's story first of all. Isn't there anything you can do? I suppose. What happened? I am here to ask you about the incident. Or why should I tell you anything? Because I'm your lawyer! So you say, but in truth I'm sure you only want to coax a story out of me, also you can spread around gossip. Everyone seems to take me for a tengu today, as if I would ever do something so insignificant. Come to think of it, they did let you handle a case once. That turned out to be quite the travesty, didn't it? Why does she have to go and remember something like that? Should you not show your credentials for now? Right, although the police didn't believe them either. Still, bickering like this will get us nowhere, so let's just show her. Alright. Have a look at this. What is this, a letter? A letter for the Yama, from the Yama addressed to me, and it proves I was asked to defend you in court. Well, are you satisfied now? I suppose I am. I cannot argue with this. That was a bit easier than expected. I thought this letter might be a fake, but I doubt you could imitate such exquisite handwriting. Who cares about that? You should know I haven't decided if I will even take on your defense yet. Whether I help you or not will depend on your attitude. Shall we speak of the case for now? I also need to decide if I even want your help, and you must want to know what kind of incident you are dealing with, I assume. Fine, that sounds like a good idea. Well then, where should I start? The incident. In all honesty, I don't know much about the incident. Wait, aren't you the accused? How could you not know anything about the incident? I did not say I knew nothing. Still, I never saw any part of it. You mean you were not at the scene of the crime? Well, that's what this comes down to. However, I have no way to prove it. Obviously, if she could prove something like that, she wouldn't be stuck here. Anyway, I was at home when Sakuya suddenly appeared and put me under arrest. But what is it you were charged with? Assault. I was told that my dolls attacked someone. Dolls? Attacked someone? Yes, and for that reason I am under suspicion. Hold on a minute. You say suspicion, but no one but you could be the culprit. After all, if your dolls attacked someone, it would have to be because you had them do it. But as I have said, I was not at the scene of the crime, so I could not have attacked anyone, could I? Then how was someone attacked by your dolls if you didn't make them? Yes, that is the question. It should be impossible for my dolls to act on their own. However, I do have some other concerns. Other concerns? What is she talking about now? Blah. I had the worst kind of wake-up call this morning. Something unthinkable had happened, you see. Of course, if your dolls had caused an incident without you knowing. No, I am speaking of something else entirely. This morning there was a break-in at my house. What? So there was yet another incident today? Yes, while I was still in bed, I was woken up by the sound of glass breaking. I thought Marissa had come to steal books. From me again. You forgot a word. You missed a word. So I headed to the source of the noise, the doll room. The doll room? The room where I store the dolls I make. Yeah, you missed a 2 in there. I thought Marissa had come steal books. I thought Marissa had come to steal books. Right? the room where I store the dolls I make, and someone had broken the window there. If only that was it. Many dolls were stolen. I flew through the window in a hurry and tried to go after the culprit, but I found no trace of them. And what did you do then? I returned to the house, and after collecting my thoughts, decided to head out and search for the thief on my own. But without any clues to go on, I had no success at all. I went back home to see if I'd overlooked anything. And then the police came and arrested you. Correct. Please wait a moment. Miss, this morning some of your dolls were stolen, you said. That's right. And shortly afterwards, someone was attacked by your dolls. That is what I was told. Then wouldn't the doll thief and the assailant be one of the same? That's a natural conclusion to come to, of course. But then that would mean Miss Alice is innocent. Not necessarily. The problem in this is it's based solely on Alice's testimony. Were any dolls truly stolen or not, we can't know that for sure. It's an awful situation I'm in, since the police believe I am making excuses, they will not accept my victim report. That is quite the misfortune. This is all I can tell you for now. Fine, I've heard enough. So, Tenchi, do you believe me? I'll get to the point. I don't. If your dolls are the weapon, then you have to be the culprit. Without any proof, that story about dolls being stolen is utterly meaningless. And in the first place, this please believe me stuff, it doesn't suit us at all, don't you think? You might be right. And now it's my turn, doll maker. Do you want to entrust your defense to someone as irresponsible as me? I don't think I should. Well then, if that's what you've decided. And yet, I still feel like you could do good work. Huh? But I don't trust you, and you don't trust me. Still, that need not be a deal breaker. I can trust in your skills at the very least. Even then, if it's my character you can't trust. And that is why I have a proposal for you. Whether you believe me or not, if you can help me, I will reward you appropriately. But being defended by a lawyer who doesn't believe in your innocence, is that surely fine with you, miss? That goes both ways. I would not trust Tenchi to do right by me without this. You don't mince your words. Well, I suppose we are alike in that regard. I can believe in your skill, and you can believe in my reward. What do you think? Will you take on my defense under these conditions? You should know I don't intend to let you off easy. You may be better off taking a scolding from the Yama. It's unacceptable to me as a magician and a puppeteer that the product of my work be misused. If it's to clear that disgrace, I'll go to any lengths. A fine answer, Alice. I like the sound of it. So be it then. I'll defend you. You had best be prepared to repay the debt you'll soon owe me. And with that, we have a deal. Ah, yes, the police said that the site of my doll's attack was in front of my house. And as it was also from my house these dolls were stolen, wouldn't it be useful for you to investigate there? Oh yes, I'll do that. Lady Hinanai, while investigating is important, do not forget to make a report to Lady Eiki. Ah, there was that too. Now, where to begin? Where do we begin? I'll show you! Well, first we must tell Eiki that I've taken the job. Alright. Courthouse main office. The Yama's not here. With 2 trials to hold today, she must be rather busy. We have a little time to spare, so we should prioritize the investigation for now. Feh! Let's come back later then. What a nuisance. The holding cell. The forest cottage living room. Is that a ribbon I see? A red ribbon with a white lace? Are there any characters that I know that wear ribbons like that and have affiliation with dolls? Nope, I got nothing. So this is what that doll maker's home. How nice, neat and clean, quite unlike the abode of a certain someone. Iku, you simply do not understand the concept of entropy. All things inevitably decay towards a chaotic state. To oppose this is to oppose the laws of the universe. You are dexterous in reply, Lady Hinanai. Long had I thought you merely could not be bothered to keep your room in order. And here's the grimoire of Alice. Well, no, that's the boss theme. This is the stage theme. What's this? It's very red, not rad. It resembles the ribbon Miss Alice wears around her neck. I suppose it would be make it a scarf. Scarves aren't something you leave on living room tables. They're not pastries. Well, it would be much more odd if it was panties. Huh? Wait, Iku, take a close look at the scarf. That happened before. These stains. It's blood, isn't it? Blood? This is not ideal. Why is one of Alice's scarves covered in blood? Oh shit, it is Alice's. A frilly ribbon of the kind Alice wears around her neck found at her house. It's covered in blood? Blood? That's not good. Who am I supposed to talk to? It's meaningless to show this here. A bookshelf tightly packed with many books. There are many. If I just take a single one, no, with them so neatly arranged, Alice would definitely notice if one was missing. 2 cups on the table. Was Alice drinking tea just before she was arrested? I've seen such rocking chairs and books before, but being swung around while I sit in one just makes me feel queasy. A large picture hung on the wall. I don't know much about paintings, but would this be art? Fireplace is fenced off. The winter is over, so it's no surprise. How the hell did that... Whatever. The doll room. Yo! Look at all the... Look at all... It just... It looks so out of place. It's just a fucking wall of them. So then is... So this is where the dolls would have been stolen from. As we can plainly see, there are signs of a break-in. But even then, there's no proof anything was actually stolen at all. Who knows that there should be more dolls in here than there already is. Perhaps we could ask Miss Alice for more detail once we found out more. Right. So many still and lifeless dolls all lined up in rows. It's a bit chilling. It's clearly been smashed open. I wonder, might these shards have cut the culprit when they broke through the window? Don't be stupid. They'd obviously break it from afar if it's Danmaku. What's more important is that glass fell in the room. What of it? If the window had been broken from inside the room, then these shards would have fallen outside, right? I see. If the shards fell inside, at the very least it suggests the window was broken from the outside. But there's no proof that this isn't a cover-up by Alice. Broken window. The window of Alice's doll room's glass shards fell on the floor. It seems whatever broke it came from outside. The window looks pretty intact to me, my guy. It's clearly been smashed open. Yeah, okay. The glass shards have the same effect as the window itself. You can't see where my mouse is. Piles of books on doll making and puppetry. When I see so many books, it kills my motivation to read. What is this? There's a pitch black substance inside. Is it gunpowder? I think that's... Yeah, I think that's everything. Alright. Tell me about the grass. What is this? Ah, that's... If I hadn't been arrested, then I would have washed it. Can you explain why this is covered in blood, miss? That is, I don't know if I should say. What, tormented by your guilty conscience? No, it's not like that. Well, I should just explain properly. It's from a nosebleed. A nosebleed. Just so you know, it's not mine. This is Patchouly's blood. And how did Patchouly's nose bleed on your scarf? As I've told you before, I went out to search for the thief who stole my dolls on my own this morning. But I never found anything, and as I was returning home, I collided with Patchouly. While I was fine, it seemed Patchouly hit her nose, but the bleeding stopped after a bit, and there was no real harm done, so it wasn't a serious matter. What are you looking at? It's only... If a nosebleed made those stains, then that must mean Patchouly's nose hit that scarf, right? That would be the case, yes. And back then, you would have been wearing that scarf like you are now, dangling over your chest. Hey, what are you imagining now? Oh, I get it. Lady Hinanai, do you think that perhaps the cause of the nosebleed was not the force of the impact, but rather its location? Why, you Don't go get excited over nothing. So you say, but what about you? New information on the scarf was added to the court record. Alice's scarf got covered in blood from Patchoulie's nose after the two of them collided on the morning of the incident. Bro, it looks like she fucking bled intensively out of her nose. All she did was press into the marshmallows. It's not that bad. It was like this when I woke up. Awful, isn't it? Certainly. I doubt even the young heiress would stoop to something like this. Just what is it you think I might stoop to, then? Stealing the sword of himself from heaven and running rampant on earth? Starting an incident by yourself while so you could play at being the police? Enough already. Alright, that seems to be everything. Maybe Eiki's back. Alice, does Alice even have... What does Alice even have? You know, I don't think she has much. Well, I guess, again, depends on the artist, of course. Maybe she has a lot, maybe she has nothing. Who knows? Komachi, why in the 18 hells are you just loitering around today of all days? Speaking to someone who's got them. I'm sorry, Lady Eiki, it's about a lost item. Then you should know how to file a report with me. I will deal with it later. I'm really sorry, it's just, when everybody looks so busy, it's hard for me to speak up. Having you wander around as you please like this would be a much greater issue. You realize the gravity of the situation, don't you? Yeah, of course. This is an all-hands-on-deck level emergency, so please refrain from doing anything unnecessary. Okay, I'll take care. In that case, see to your duties at once. Yes. What? Why does this place feel so tense? It's slightly frightening. Oh, Tenshi and Iku. Hello. Excuse us for not making our presence known sooner. You've returned. From the look of you, I assume you saw what took place just a moment ago. Well, maybe just a bit. I'm sorry you had to witness such an unsightly scene. Please forget all about it. Even if you say that. So, have you come to answer my request? You're exactly right. Although that's a bit hard to do under the stifling air. I almost understand how that Shinigami felt. As far as I can see, this air has nothing to do with us. What on earth is going on in this place? For the time being, I have decided to take the case. So you will accept? Thank you. We will be opening that trial as soon as the first hearing of today comes to a close, so I will be contacting you again at that time. I understand. Then I will be seeing you in court later. Somehow it feels like she's trying to drive me away. While we're at it, this letter is really hard to read. Is it? I made a point of using my finest calligraphy. There's nothing fine about this. This writing's so flowery I can't make sense of it. Well, what's that it? My apologies. Honestly. There's nothing I can help you with here, is there? I see you have caused yet another calamity, Tenshi. No, I had nothing to do with this. Is that the truth? Pardon me, I was so certain. Just who did she take me for? Alright, that seems to be everything. Hello, Iku. Okay. Hey, don't run from me! No, it ain't like that. I'm just really busy today. Not that you know what that's like. Rude? You're one to talk, you slacker. What are you even doing in this place? Didn't you just get told off by the Yama for goofing around? Well, that's true, but I found this lost item, see? So I figured I should deliver it myself, even though I'm in the middle of work. You just wanted to play hooky, didn't you? And if you're here, that item of yours would have to be something in Alice's, wouldn't it? Oh, you got it in one. You're totally right. It wouldn't make sense if it was anyone else's. So have you given it back to Alice already? Nope, she's in questioning if you couldn't tell. And I wanted to have a little chat with her, so I've been waiting. So you were busy or not? What is this item of Miss Alice's you found, by the by? It's this doll. Here, check it out. That definitely is one of Alice's dolls. And how did you find this exactly? It was a bit before 9 o'clock this morning. I picked it up at the Sanzu's riverbank while working. The Sanzu? Well, I was working all morning, so there's nowhere else I could have picked it up, right? She really wants me to know she was working. Well, I'll be holding on to that doll for now, seeing as I'm Alice's lawyer. Huh? If you don't mind, just make sure you give it back to her, okay? Yes, yes. The lost doll was taken. A bit before 9 a.m., around the time of the attack of the forest magic took place, the Shinigami Komachi Onozuka picked up this doll, on the bank of the Sanzu. Now I've got other fish to fry, so I'll be going. Setting that aside, Alice is still in questioning. There is nothing to be done. Let us return later. Where else can I even go? That answers that question. Whoa, get out of there. Get out of here. Get out of here, Three Stooges. You're not making sense. We have every right to be here. Aside from that, there are only two of us. And we aren't stooges. You're so in tune, it's scary. Leaving that aside, why are you idling here? You're the Scarlet Devil Mansion's gatekeeper, aren't you? That's right, but since we're so short-handed today, I got put in charge of this crime scene. And on top of it, they're also making me handle the trial as the prosecutor. Ah, I see. Your colleagues must be occupied with the case of Miss Toromaru. Yeah, except Milady, who partied too hard last night when we tried to wake her up. I see. You're having quite a hard time, too. Forget about that. I can't be complaining about this in front of you people. Anyway, I'm investigating here, so stay out of my way. But when someone tells me to stay out of their way, it only makes me want to get in their way. Hey, you. Tell me something. What? I'm busy if you couldn't tell. I'd like it if you didn't get in my way. Not even a minute ago, you were just standing around staring into space. So you've been investigating. Have you found any clues? Well, I can't be talking about an ongoing police investigation with you. Oh, so you haven't found anything? How did she know? Easy, someone like you couldn't possibly find anything I overlooked. It's true that I've been searching here for a while, but I didn't find anything that might be a clue. If it was Miss Patchouli or Sakuya in my place, I'm sure they would have found something already. Please do not lose heart. You are an officer of the law, are you not? So you must uphold the pride and dignity of your office. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Yeah, you're right. Thanks. I'll give it my all. Since when is it up to lawyers to give the police a pep talk? Don't you know anything else that might be of use? Well, as things stand, all we have for clues is eyewitness testimony. There was a witness? Well, maybe I should say the victim's testimony. And isn't that hugely important? Who was the victim? Who got attacked? Why has this only come up now? Thinking back, we were never told anything about the victim. Huh, that's true. Officer, will the victim be standing in court as a witness today? Well, obviously. We don't have any other witnesses. Listen, I need to speak with them. I'm not supposed to be helping you guys. But you did cheer me up, so I'm just gonna talk to myself a bit, okay? Oh yeah, the victim came over to the mansion for a bit of questioning just before I left. They should be about done by now. I wonder if you've been interrupting anything if I went back. The Scarlet Devil Mansion, I understand. There's nothing left for us here. I have to hear from this witness while I have the chance. Yeah, good old Oblivion artwork on the wall. Oh, it's you. It's been a while. How have you been? I'm doing quite well, thank you for asking. I've had no new health concerns since that time you put me in a coma. Praise be. Be that as it may, to think you of all people would be made a defense attorney. How ironic. I can't disagree with that. The defense's duties are quite a different beast from the work of a prosecutor. I believe. Well, do your best. I will be making time to watch your trial. I wouldn't miss it for the world. In fact, I would have loved to see your last stint in court, but I'm afraid I overslept that day. And the next day. And the day after that. Whew, someone's better. Now I am also quite busy, so if you'll excuse me. I like Sassy Patchy. Well then, do you have any other guests? Let us hope so. At the very least, it would help us to know the victim's name. Oh my, are you looking for someone? And who are you? My name is Medicine Melancholy. Pleased to make your acquaintance. I forgot this was a character. I am Tenshi Hinanai, and I am called Ikunagai. The pleasure is all ours, I'm sure. You flatter me too much. Impressive. This may very well be the slimiest creature I have ever encountered. Ooh, listen to them finger snaps, baby. By the way, Miss Medicine, you are a doll, are you not? Yes, indeed. Although it was only recently that I became conscious and aware. Before we talk about anything else, tell me, why do you seem to ooze malevolence? Oh, that may be because I have the poison. I was born among Mary's tears, you see, so poison is like my blood. Mary's tears? Mary's tears, Maybells, Glovewort, Susan, Suzerain, the lilies of the valley. They're very beautiful. Glovewort. Good word. Uh-huh. Oh, you don't seem very interested. I'm of the type who'd rather get candy than flowers. I see. That's a shame. Nevertheless, I think a living doll such as yourself would be of much interest to someone like Miss Alice. Alice? You mean that puppeteer? You know about her. Oh, I know. Right now, she's just beneath my feet, isn't she? I'm beginning to sense some hostility here. So you heard about Miss Alice being arrested? Naturally, I was the one to report her to the police. Report? So as I thought, you are... Oh yes, the victim in this incident. You were attacked by those dolls. Mm-hmm. If you don't believe me, have a closer look. My clothes are torn up all over because of them. And you're certain it was Alice's doll who attacked you? I don't see any issue on her outfit. Of course I am. I saw them all with my own 2 eyes. A doll attacking another doll, huh? That sounds less like a crime and more like a child's game. Or maybe one of those puppet shows. Perhaps we should meet with Miss Alice one last time? As her own questioning must be over by now. I suppose. Welcome back. Have you made any progress? Well, I wouldn't say no progress has been made. That's good to hear. Now then, what else can she tell us? Can you give me more details about these dolls you claim were stolen? The stolen dolls were taken from my doll room. Ah, and of all the missing dolls were just in blue. In blue? It doesn't really mean anything. It would be boring if every doll looked the same, so I dressed them in different outfits and colors. It might be that the thief took dolls from the shelf where I kept the blue dolls by chance. But we saw no dolls in blue when we investigated the doll room ourselves. Meaning all of my girls in blue have disappeared. I put so much care into making all of their clothes, it's a bit disheartening. Come to think of it, didn't the doll that Shinigami bring over wear blue clothes? Notes on the stolen dolls were added. Stolen dolls. One of them, the whole squad is in there. On the morning of the incident, all the dolls wearing blue clothes were stolen from Alice's doll room. By the way, that Shinigami came here to deliver this to you earlier. That Shinigami, you mean Komachi? It seems this is something that was dropped on the shore of the Sanzu River. I see. Well, thank you for bringing it. Ah, not so fast. Since this might be evidence, I'm holding on to it for a little bit longer. Eh? But, is something the matter? No, it's nothing. Please do as you prefer. Then with your blessing... Ah, Lady Hinanai, it's almost time for Miss Toromaru's trial to begin. Well, that has nothing to do with us, does it? But as you will be standing in court as an attorney soon, perhaps we should go observe Miss Shimaemaru at work. It could be helpful to have a point of reference, wouldn't you agree? I'm not sure I feel like putting in that much work. Now, don't say that. Experience is the mother of wisdom, after all. It's true I'm tired of looking high and low for evidence, so we might as well attend. Well, I cannot join you, so I'll have to wait here until my own trial begins. So it is decided. We will see each other again in court, miss. Alright. Good pace. 40 minutes to get to the... first court day. So I should have enough time to wrap this court day up. And then, you know, start the next investigation. I see you're looking as sour as ever, Tengu. Back off. I was in a death struggle just moments ago. Well, with a bit of luck, I also might get to experience that feeling before too long. What are you talking about? Wait, what are you even doing here? Another trial will begin momentarily. That of Miss Alice Margatroyd. Eh? Alice? Oh, right. You were so busy today, you never got to hear about this, didn't you, Aya? There was actually another incident this morning, and the Yama had to look for another lawyer so they could hold a trial without delay. Wait, don't tell me. Going by what you've been saying, that other lawyer would have to be my own self. I see Alice's luck isn't improving. I'll let that challenge slide for now. We were both watching you at work, Miss Shimemadu. Your defense was truly quite inspiring to see. Oh, come on, don't flatter me too much. I am hopeful that the young heiress will now feel driven to achieve equal heights today. Don't talk nonsense. Defending someone is something I haven't ever done before. It'll be fine. It was the first time for Aya too once. And even back then, it was a total victory for her. That is true. I may have to review my opinion of you just a little bit, Tengu. Dear me, Lady Hinanai. Well then, Tenchi, please allow me to watch you at work this time. I never got the chance to watch one of these trials from the outside looking in before, after all. Well, don't set your expectations too high. I doubt this will make for much of a news story. Don't you worry about that. Now please excuse me. I've been standing for hours and I'd like to get in my seat in the gallery. Yeah, wait for me. Whew, they're a lively pair, aren't they? I know what you mean, but this is just how trials are here in Gensokyo. I suppose so. Though I did pass by Sho Torimaru on the way here, she seemed quite despondent. Yes, she may have avoided being found guilty, but she still has to remain in custody. Will I be staying the night at Romelia's too, I wonder? I want to go home and sew buttons onto some new dolls already. We'll just have to let events take their course and see, won't we? Right. Then for today, I will be in your care. Tenchi Hinanai, attorney at law. You can think of it as being on a great and sturdy ship that's taking on water. It's much more thrilling that way, wouldn't you say? Good grief. I see you Celestials truly fear nothing save boredom. Hey, Yugi's in the crowd today instead of Moko. It's kind of weird. If we are all prepared, the trial of Alice Murgatroyd will now begin. Oh wait, that's because Moko's involved in Sho's trial, right? Moko's involved in Sho's trial, so now Yugi is taking her spot. I guess that's why they did that. It's a neat catch. Of course, I say that, but Racing was also in the gallery in the last trial, and she showed up, and you know. If we're all prepared, the trials of Alice Murgatroyd will now begin. The prosecution's ready. I am as ready as I will ever be. All right, Tenchi's on the left side now. Then it is up to the prosecution to give an opening statement. By your leave. This incident took place in the Forest of Magic around 9 this morning, in front of the suspect's house. She is accused of using her dolls to suddenly attack a passerby. According to the victim's own eyewitness testimony, there's no doubt the suspect is guilty of the charge. I see. In that case, I request you summon this witness immediately. Then I'll be calling forward the sole witness in this case, the victim herself. It begins at last. My first trial as an attorney. Hey, how you doing? Alright, then witness, your name and occupation. My name is Medicine Melancholy. I work day and night to further the cause of doll liberation. I don't believe that qualifies as an occupation. That sounds rather unconvincing coming from someone like you, who has no occupation, Lady Ian and I. Well, holy shit. Chat, she's adorable. Iku's not supposed to be adorable. She's supposed to be a classy, high society lady. But here, she just looks adorable. Be quiet. Well, that will do. As we will likely end up running quite late today, let us proceed as promptly as we can. Witness, begin your testimony without delay. First off, please tell us everything you can about the moment of the crime. I understand. Now then, it's finally time to find out all the facts of this little doll trial. When dolls attack. Yo, it's Iku's theme. That's bumping. This morning I went for a stroll in the Forest of Magic. But when I approached Alice's house, Doll suddenly appeared. I like her little doll friend there. Before I could understand what was happening, the dolls attacked without warning, leaving me in this state. I fled as fast as I could and informed the police. I like that the dolls emote with Alice and Medicine. So you were suddenly attacked. That's right. Awful, isn't it? Well, you'll be given more chances to say your piece in the cross-examination. Then if you are prepared, you may begin your first cross-examination, defense. It's all for that reward. To begin with, let's draw out the faults in that dummy story. All for the reward, is it? And you, keep quiet. When dolls attack. It's got a low. Oh. Why would you go there? The Forest of Magic isn't the nicest place for a walk. It's filled with toxic miasma and mushroom spores. But for a doll like me, that isn't a concern. I actually find it very invigorating. So you were on a stroll with no particular aim in mind. That's exactly it. I just happened to pass by. You just happened to be there, you say. But when I approached Alice's house, dolls suddenly appeared. And where did these dolls come from? They suddenly appeared from behind me. So a few dolls came at you from behind. No, there were so many of them I couldn't count them. Speaking of which, where are the dolls who attacked the witness now? About that, they're still missing. Missing? We still haven't found any dolls matching the description given by the witness. Why would that be? In that case, there's no way for us to know if the dolls that attacked that dummy were really Alice's. Oh, we get more of Mei-Ling's tomboy voice. The dolls used in the crime would have become evidence, so Alice got rid of them before we could find them. That would make the most sense, right? She's just some good-for-nothing door guard, and yet... If that's how it is, I'll just have to attack from another angle. Witness, you claim you saw Alice's dolls. That is what I said. Then did you also see Alice controlling them? Of course. There are no dolls except me who are free to move as they please. And was there anything unusual about Alice then? Well, I don't think there was anything especially strange about her. So you also saw the defendant at the scene. I feel this is key information. Witness, add the statement to your testimony. Yes, of course. I saw Alice alongside her dolls, but there was nothing peculiar about her. And you're certain of what you say? I had seen Alice before, so there's no mistaking her. I see, understood. I know what to present, chat. I figured it out, but I want more dialogue. And now it's high time I teach that doll why the poison sloshing around in her head won't even compare with the Celestial's brilliant mind. There is such a thing as fighting poison with poison, I suppose. I just want more Tenchi and Iku banter. I don't use poison myself, you know. Oh no, you have fierce venom of your own within you, Lady Hinanai. Well, it still can't compare with yours. Before I could understand what was happening, the balls attacked without warning, leaving me in this state. Even down here, people don't usually attack each other for no reason at all. Could it have been that you provoked Alice somehow without realizing? What are you implying I did? I have no idea. What about you? Just what is wrong with you? Aren't you the one who's been trying to start a fight with me this whole time? Well, starting fights is my specialty. I love the smug expression on Tenchi with this one. Oh there, defense. We already have enough incidents to deal with today without you starting more. Yeah. As for you, witness, there is no need for you to lash out at the defense like this. Yes. Even though I shouldn't be getting questioned, not accused. I fled as fast as I could and informed the police. So you made good on your escape. Well, the Forest of Magic is a forest, so there are plenty of blind spots to lose pursuers in. I see. And afterwards, you immediately contacted the police. That's right. I felt like I had to let someone know. Unfortunately, no contradictions here. How should I say? It feels like a rather slippery testimony. True. It doesn't help that the scene was that forest. We can't hope to find other witnesses. You may be right. As things stand, there seems to be quite the blatant incident. Bland. That might be the best way to describe it. Could it be that we're only looking at the tip of the iceberg? Let us focus on breaking through the wall before us for the time being. Fine, let's deal with the visible part first. That reminds me, and I like how in Phoenix, right? Sometimes you press on a statement and Phoenix is just like, interesting, can you explain more? And then immediately goes to the next statement in the testimony anyway. Okay. There was nothing peculiar about her. That's just not true. Iku Nagai, the messenger of the Dragon Palace, has appointed herself my companion. Her special skill is reading the air. Slacker number 1. Her job description is ferryman of the Sanzu River, but she has to be a court bailiff on top of it, or so she says. Her Honor, one of the Yama of Hell, she loves preaching. Anyone with sense will flee rather than face her lectures. There are some who don't, but they all must be exceptionally well trained. The defendant appears to be a bit of a lonesome person. However, when she's among her dolls, she doesn't have to be afraid of anything. Slacker number 2. Her task at the Scarlet Devil Mansion is to guard the gate, but it feels like she mostly just takes naps there, and now she's the prosecutor in charge of our case. The unmoving Great Library, who has been moving quite a bit lately, currently occupied with a case unrelated to ours. A doll who's become alive and self-aware after being thrown away in a poisonous field of lilies of the valley. Toxic in more than one sense. The infamous Ace Attorney. This time she's dealing with the case of the destroyed Godstone at the Hakude Shrine. Aya Shimeimaru's exceptional assistant, or maybe it would be more appropriate to call her the exhausted assistant. Yeah. You are a doll, so I suppose your eyes might merely be painted on. That's... holy shit, that's banter. Excuse you. While I may be a doll, I have proper eyes. Then look with your proper eyes. What's this? A red scarf? This is Alice's scarf. Do the bloodstains on it greet your eyes this time? I like that we get different mixes for Tenchi here. I can see perfectly fine. What's the point of this? This morning, the defendant headed out on business. She returned home shortly before being arrested. And she collided with someone on her way back. That was when blood got on this scarf. Which means at the time you saw her, Alice should have been covered in blood. She could have just changed her scarf. It's only common sense to change out of a bloody cloth, isn't it? Or out of bloody clothes. Recall the dummy's testimony, if you will. The dolls appeared from behind her, and she also said she was approaching Alice's house. In other words, Alice would have come from the direction opposite her own house. Now, can you think of a reason for Alice to have been returning home? Medicine looks tall in that art. Certainly, it does sound as though the defendant's scarf should have been bloodied at the time. We can't just take the suspect at her word. There's not even any definite proof that really was how that blood got there. Actually, this could be the victim's own blood. The victim is a doll, and dolls shed no blood nor tears. If you cut her, does she not spew poison everywhere? This is actually a very good question. Chat, what happens if Medicine suffers a gash? Does she just, like, expunge poison? Well now, if I didn't know any better, I'd think you were calling me cold and heartless. Well, let's say everything the defense claims is true. Even then, it wouldn't be strange for the witness not to remember that blood. Since that scarf is red to begin with, even if it's covered in blood, the stains don't stand out too much. And so, in the moment of crisis, it went unnoticed. Well, that would make some sense. It couldn't be that easy, I suppose. Anyway, the witness will continue her testimony. Witness, could you give us more details about that time? Oh, gladly. This time I'll utterly floor you. When dolls attack, too. I was assaulted when I approached Alice's house, and there is no doubting that. Alice's dolls attacked me from behind, and Alice herself was standing right there. And I also remember what those dolls looked like. They were all wearing blue clothes that resembled Alice's usual outfit. But as I feared for my life, I fled from them quickly. I see. As things stand, there seems to be no issues with this testimony. So we just need to get the lawyer to accept that. You must be kidding. Do you really think I would let such an amusing game end so quickly? A game, huh? If you're still saying stuff like that, then I haven't been beating you down enough. Who do you think you are, calling this a game? I went through a truly horrible ordeal. That's quite enough. Proceed with the cross-examination. Very well. I'll show you what's what. We're not friends here, me and Medicine. Meaning you were going to Alice's house. I wouldn't say that, but when you find a lone house in the heart of a forest, it's only natural to go have a look, don't you think? Chat, what do you think about that sentence? If you're wandering through the forest and you see an old abandoned house and you're alone, do you approach it? I'll tell you what I do. Turn around. Turn right the fuck around. I didn't mean to visit or have any kind of other intent. Even if she had, it would be quite difficult to prove. That might not have anything to do with the incident, so there isn't a point getting into that. You found the Skinwalker's cottage. Alice's dolls attacked him from behind, and Alice herself was standing right there. But you didn't notice the blood on her. It can't be helped. When dolls attacking me, I couldn't have noticed anything else. Still, dolls fighting another doll, that's a bit of a funny story, isn't it? What if you looked in the window and saw something you should not have seen? And then it looked at you. You made eye contact with something in that window? What would you do then? What would you do then? Yet another yoke. Whenever a yokai fights another yokai, no one ever feels they need to comment how funny that is. Feh! That doll's not cute at all. What are you both even fighting over now? I also remember what those dolls look like. Then why did you not tell us in the earlier testimony? It slipped my mind until now. Why you? Ho there, defense. Please speak more peaceably. It's because I can't find any openings. Settle down, Lady Hinanai. Haste makes waste, after all. I know that. Stop bothering me. Anyway, about these dolls. They're wearing blue clothes that resemble Alice's usual outfit. Blue clothes? Yes, it was as if it was being swarmed by a horde of tiny Alices crawling all over me. Why does she have to make it sound so creepy? If she can give such a vivid account of the incident, then there's no room for doubting her, is there? I agree. There does not seem to have be anything to question here. Things are going poorly. At this point, it may be worth finding fault with anything I can. But as I fear for my life, I fled from them quickly. You didn't try to fight back. I was taken by surprise. It was a struggle to even remain standing. If you were in such dire straits, I suppose fleeing truly was your only option. I don't think there's anything weird about the witness's actions myself. I have to find a flaw in one way or another. How goes it, Lady Hinanai? Has the opportunity for a counterattack now come to you? Opportunities do not merely come to you. You have to go to them. I could not have said it better myself, but these are still merely words in the end. I know that. I'll show them all that right now. Alright. I think I got it. You must have been mistaken, or perhaps dreaming. We are fighting dreaming dreamers. Although it's only in children's tales that dolls could ever hope to dream. We dolls also have dreams of our own. That it must be merely been a very vivid dream. That horrible ordeal of yours. But I've been testifying to an impossibility. You should have never seen Alice's blue dolls in the world of reality. What? Don't take me for an idiot. There was an incident at Alice's home this morning. Every single doll dressed in blue was stolen from that house. Dolls were stolen? So I want the witness to explain something for us. How did Alice attack her with dolls she didn't have? Gah? Whoa, whoa, whoa. You're not seriously gonna go with something like that, are ya? You say dolls were stolen from the defendant's house, but can you even prove it? Did you forget what you reported to the court yourself? These dolls of Alice's, the witness described, could not be found anywhere. In other words, they've been stolen. That just means Alice got rid of them to hide her crime. That's not proof anything was stolen. Is there even proof anything was stolen? It is true that with only this much to go on, we cannot be certain if dolls were ever stolen. It feels as though the wind is turning against us, slowly but surely. In that case, it's all up to me to make this thick-headed bunch acknowledge that there was a burglary. But is that even possible? For now, I need to show that there was such an incident. We'll just have to count on my brilliant mind to bridge the gaps between the evidence. Well, defense, can you show proof that these dolls were stolen? Of course. For one such as I, nothing is impossible. I see you've recovered your usual presents. As I have said, I intend to win. Then the defense may present evidence. Evidence showing that burglary at the defendant's home you speak of took place. That was so quick. Holy shit, she said that so quick, it didn't even sound like she said it properly. Tell me, prosecutor, you also carried out an inspection of the defendant's house, didn't you? Well, I guess so. Then you've certainly seen the shattered window in the doll room. Well, maybe I did. Then even you should understand what happened there. That a window was broken at the defendant's house, and the shards of that shattered window have fallen onto the floor, which would mean that it was broken from the outside. But it could have been the defendant herself who broke it, as part of a cover-up of her crime. It's true I can't disprove that possibility. However, if Alice had already had to... Sorry, let me try that again. However, if Alice had also had to... Holy fuck. One more time. However, if Alice also had to hide her dolls in a place the police wouldn't find them, would she have had the time to break her own window on top of it? It could be she broke that window before the victim was attacked. The victim herself told us it was by pure coincidence she visited Alice's house. If that was the truth, nothing about this crime could have been prepared in advance. Well, then maybe that window is unrelated to the case. It could have just been that Marissa broke that window and stole a magic book or something. Ooh, so you do admit there was a burglary at the defendant's house. Ah, damn it. What do you think, Yama? For the time being, taking both sides' arguments into account, it does sound like this window might be tied to that incident. Furthermore, the window that was broken was that of the doll room. With that in mind, it seems quite likely that dolls were the intruder's target, doesn't it? That is a convincing theory, certainly. With this, we've taken a step forwards. Oh, what? Now what? Hey now, you really think that's all it'll take to win over this lawyer? What's with her? So someone stole something from the defendant's house. I guess the prosecution will concede that. But that gives rise to a whole new story. The story of why the defendant attacked the victim. That story called The Truth. What? Why? Why is that worthless meathead so on the ball all of a sudden? Perhaps she ate something strange this morning. Do tell, prosecution, what sort of epiphany did this one in fact lead you to? The main point here is, something was stolen from Alice's house this morning. Let's face it, the culprit was probably Marissa, but that doesn't really matter right now. And what was stolen, you ask? Once again, it could have been anything with one exception. What exception? That would be those dolls in blue the defense is being so insistent about. Anyway, this morning something was stolen from the defendant's house, and so she headed outside to look for the culprit herself. This aligns with Miss Alice's account perfectly, actually. Somehow I'm getting a bad feeling. But at some point, the defendant gave up her search and returned home. And at that time, she saw the witness near her house. In fact, she saw the witness walking towards her house. And in that moment, the defendant must have thought, the culprit returned to the scene of the crime. They're going to enter the house and steal again. So Alice attacked the witness with the blue-clad dolls she brought along with her search. That is the whole truth of this case. It can't be! In my own personal opinion, the prosecution's case is, as it currently stands, flawless. It is in perfect agreement with all available evidence and testimony, aside from the defendant's own claims, of course. I'm gonna lose to the gatekeeper? What are you doing, Lady Hinanai? You must object, and quickly. Why bother? There's no point in objecting when I don't have anything to say. But it doesn't count. This wasn't fair. It's because Alice is guilty. There wasn't any way I could win to begin with. Do you not believe in Alice at all? Shut up! You're gonna make me sick. That believe in me garbage is just disgusting. Lady Hinanai. Well, like I first thought, this is just how you are. Even if you have talent, it's completely meaningless if we cannot trust each other. What a lawyer does must be much like what I do. A puppeteer with her puppet. If we can't leave ourselves wholly in each other's hands, nothing can be done. No matter how gifted we might be. Alice. It's fine, Tenshi. I never placed any trust in you either, so I cannot blame you. I felt that if it was you, you could get me acquitted, but it was foolish of me to hold out hope, even if it was only a little. Oh dear, looks like you've had a bit of a falling out. So there's no way to keep this trial going any longer, is there? It appears that the defendant and her counsel has come apart. And so, no matter how much I wish it could be otherwise, the trial has no need to continue. I will pass judgment on the defendant here and now. This is fine, isn't it? Believing in someone isn't something I can do, so I always knew this would happen. It's the natural conclusion. There's nothing to be done about it. You're wrong, Tenshi. Eh? I told you that I believe in you, and keep on defending you. But how do you expect me to defend a client who won't believe in me? You believe in me? You really still believe in me, even now? Of course I do. If I didn't, I'd leave you be without making all the fuss. Why did you defend me to the very end? I was lying to you from the beginning. I thought that was how I could save myself, so I lied. So why did you keep on believing in me? I find the defendant, Alice Margatroyd. There's no dramatic flashing like Phoenix, right? But it's doing it like that happy face. Lady Hinanai. It's odd. This isn't like me at all. There must be something wrong with me today. Somehow, right now, I feel like I can't leave Alice to face this alone. But maybe there's something I can believe in? Whoa there, this is already over, isn't it? Didn't your client already give up on you? Tenshi, what do you... It's because I know it. How it feels, standing alone in that dock. That fear that no one will believe you no matter what you say. And I've always known. Even in those times I felt so bored I could die. I hated being alone even more. Lady Hinanai, in truth, you believe in Alice after all, do you not? Well, I don't know about that. But I know one thing for certain. There's something I want right now. You want something? Yeah, more than anything. This trial, I want to win it, even if it kills me. Tenshi. Forgive me, Alice. You weren't the one I should have been doubting. It's that creepy doll on the witness stand. What was that? I'm the victim here. Alice told me she wasn't even on the scene at the time of the incident. And if that's the truth, then that dummy must be lying through her fake teeth. Witness, you're going to testify again. What? What else do I have to tell you about? That story about you seeing Alice, I want to hear it again. That'll just be the same thing we've already heard. Just a moment ago, you made the court sit through your long-winded fairy tale. So it's only fair I get a turn to tell a story of my own, isn't it? You little. This is already over anyway. Very well. I will give the defense this chance. What? Your Honor? The prosecution has presented one possibility. That being the case, we should also listen to what other possibilities the defense is able to present. Come on! And so I will accept the defense's request. Witness, begin your testimony at once. Yes, I understand. This is my last chance. I have to overturn everything by any means necessary. For Alice's sake. That was a good theme. Medicine and Alice. Even if you ask me to for more testimony, there's honestly isn't anything else I can tell you. There was nothing strange worth mentioning. The point is, Alice used the doll she had with her to attack me. I could only run away desperately, so I couldn't have seen anything else. Nothing appears to have changed. I've been telling you the whole truth from the beginning, so there's no reason anything would change. In other words, all that's left is for the defense to finally accept that facts are facts. A fact is something you have to establish through careful observation and deliberation. You can't call anything that floats through your empty head facts. That's something you say after you've proven somebody wrong. Just you wait. Here we go. Ride or die. There has to be something. Aren't you supposed to be a witness? I have already testified about everything I witnessed. The simple truth is there's nothing else. No matter how much you may pound the truth, its shape won't ever change. That's only if it's the truth to begin with. There's nothing strange worth mentioning. But what about the blood on Alice's clothes? I told you I never noticed any blood. But could bloodstains really be overlooked so easily? That scarf itself is red, so bloodstains would just blend in. There's nothing strange about it. But... blend in? Wait a minute. There might have been another reason I didn't notice the blood on her. Then amend your testimony to reflect this. I didn't notice any bloodstains because they blended in with the red pattern on Alice's clothes. A red pattern? Yes, the blood on the scarf must have blended in with that red pattern. In other words, you mistook bloodstains for a design on her clothes. That must be it. What on earth is she talking about? The point is Alice used the dolls she had with her to attack me. For no reason at all. Yes, without any warning. Like she was saying, it's no use arguing. Now that sounds very sudden. So Miss Alice took her for the thief and attacked. I can't deny that possibility, so we have to come up with another possibility of our own. Yes, that time has come to put your talents for making excuses on display, Lady Hinanai. Could only run away desperately, so I couldn't have seen anything else. Did Alice not pursue you? I fled without looking back, so I can't know for certain. But if she did chase me, she must not have done so for very long. Would she really let you go so easily? Ah, well, she must have thought chasing me through the dense forest was hopeless. That does make some sense, I suppose. How are they, our chances at the turnabout? I can't know that, but I do know the odds will infinitely trend towards 100% if I don't give up. It is as you say, then I will also believe in you, Lady Hinanai. Leave everything to me. For one such as I, nothing is impossible. Oh, whoops. I got it. They blended in with the red pattern on Alice's clothes. I have no idea what you're talking about, so I'll give you a chance to explain yourself. What is it now? Just take a look at Alice's clothes. Where's the red pattern? Huh? She wasn't wearing these clothes then. But when I saw her this morning, she was wearing different clothes from usual. Then why is she wearing her everyday outfit now? How am I supposed to know that? What the hell is going on? Defendant, can you provide an explanation? You say explanation, but these are the clothes I've been wearing all day. She's lying! Ah, wait a moment. Red pattern clothes? Did anything come to mind? It's true that I have some red pattern sleepwear. Could you be talking about my pajamas? Pajamas? Hold it right there. If you were just passing by her house, how did you ever see Alice in her pajamas? It might be because when I jumped out of the house, I was still in my pajamas. Eh? In your pajamas? This morning I was awoken by the sound of a broken window. I rushed downstairs in a hurry to find that someone had smashed the window in the doll room and that some dolls had disappeared. Thinking the culprit might still be nearby, I left out still wearing my pajamas. But I couldn't find anyone outside, so I went back in and changed into these clothes. Did you see me then? Well then, there's nothing strange about the witness saying Alice's clothes had a red pattern. Don't you even try! It was moments after the burglary that Alice stepped out of her house in her pajamas. But the witness was attacked by the dolls later. According to the case the prosecution has built, that is. In other words, when the witness saw Alice, she couldn't have been wearing her pajamas. But Alice might be lying about changing her clothes then. So if she did it after she attacked the witness, then it's those pajamas that would have gotten covered in blood, not her scarf. Gah! We have irrefutable proof that at the time of the crime, Alice must have been wearing her usual outfit, and yet the witness did not know this. That can only mean she never saw Alice when she was attacked. No! Now then, witness, do you acknowledge the defense's claim? Yes, I do. And why did you lie to us? Because it was dolls who attacked me. I thought nobody except Alice could have done it. That's right. It was the defendant's dolls who assaulted the witness, so the culprit couldn't be anyone else. But the defendant was never seen at the crime scene. So how could she have been behind that attack? The scene was in a forest. The scene was a forest with all kinds of blind spots. So it could be Alice was just hiding nearby. That is enough. As things stand, it seems clear that the witness did not see the defendant at the scene. As the prosecution has pointed out, it is a possibility she hit herself in a blind spot. However, if, as the defense has been arguing, it cannot be confirmed that the defendant was even at the scene of the crime, I cannot render a verdict yet. Aw, come on! This leaves us with one important question. Which is? Obviously, it's whether it'd be possible for those dolls to attack without Alice giving the order. If we can't verify that, we won't be getting anywhere. For now, it might be best to have the defendant testify on that subject, and so we will take a recess and hear from the defendant afterwards. Is that acceptable? I have no objection. Same with the prosecution. In that case, court is here henceforth in recess. April 15th, 1833, defendant lobby. Thank you, Tenshi, and I'm sorry. Don't apologize, it was me who tried to abandon you. I won't be able to feel at ease if I can't apologize. Rather than that, will you believe in me, Alice? I'll prove you innocent without fail, but that won't be possible if you don't trust me. Because that's how it had to be back then. Back then, I was put on trial once too, and back then that Tengu believed in me and defended me. But I didn't believe in her, so I lied and made things much harder than they had to be. If the defendant and the lawyer can't trust one another, there's no winning an acquittal. I should have learned that back then, but I didn't understand it until now. You might be right, but I am truly glad, no matter what you may say, you do believe in Miss Alice, Lady Hinanai. I had begun to fear you were truly a lost cause. Isn't that what everybody else already thinks? You don't need to remind me. Now, Alice, you'll be taking the witness stand next. So I want you to promise me one thing. What is it? Don't tell any lies. Don't lie to me even if what you know sounds unfavorable to you. Trust me, I'll show them the whole truth. No matter what you say, I'll take your side. I understand. I'll believe in you too. Just like you did back then. This is an interesting character dynamic. Thank you, Alice. It seems our time is up. You heard her, Alice. Shall we go? After you. Tenshi and Alice. This is definitely one of those instances where it's like, that's a weird character interaction. Now, granted, they do talk to each other in SWR, of course, but they kind of get on like oil and water. So it's kind of cool to have them paired together through strenuous circumstances like this and have it kind of flow well. I like it. Now, let us resume the proceedings. Are both the defense and the prosecution prepared? Yes. Of course. Then, defendant, come to the witness stand. Witness, your name and occupation. Alice Margatroyd. I put on puppet shows. Then please testify about these dolls of yours. Yes, I understand. Alice, please. Here we go. Chad, I am starving. I have chicken and veggies. I'll be eating chicken and veggies after my stream. I'm thinking about it right now, and it's killing me. My dolls are ultimately still just dolls. It's impossible for them to move on their own. In any case, they require an outside power of some sort to move them. And needless to say, my dolls have no will of their own. These girls cannot attack anyone without someone's intentions driving them to do it. I must say the testimony appears to be quite disadvantageous for you. That may be true, but lying would not do me any good, would it? It's true I made her promise to tell the truth, but maybe it would have been better to prepare a few little white lies instead. Yeah, we're gonna be going for a little bit. But I didn't think the court day would extend like this. I thought the court day would just end there. Come now, how can you say this after we struggled so much to build trust? I'm only kidding, mostly. And what are the rest of it? At any rate, the defense may cross-examine. For now, my only option is to show someone other than Alice could have done all this. Let me tell you, chat, I have a lot of shit I have to do after the stream. A lot. So, first things first, I gotta eat. My dolls are ultimately still just dolls, and it's impossible to move on their own. Holy fuck. When I think about everything I have to do after the stream, I gotta take it one step at a time. But I'm hungry, so that comes first. So it'll be really completely impossible. With the exception of medicine, I do not know of any doll that can move under its own power. So what you're saying is the dolls who attack medicine must have been made to do it by someone. There is no doubt about that. However, it was not necessarily me. But at the present, you are the biggest suspect. In any case, they require an outside power of any sort to move them. What kind of power? Well, it is obviously possible to move a doll by hand, but I'm essentially speaking of magic power. That's true, I can take Jun's hand and wave it with my hand, and it looks like she's waving. But that's because I'm interacting with Jun, not because I have magic power. Chat, did you know you can pick up Jun by her hat, and that is the correct way to pick her up? How do you pick up your Fumo, chat? Do you pick them up by the waist? Do you pick them up from the back? For Jun, I pick her up by the hat, because the hat is like attached to her head. That's the appropriate way to pick up a Jun. In other words, anyone who can use magic could learn how to do it. That is true in theory, but in practice it would be extremely difficult for anyone inexperienced to handle many dolls at once. I tend to pick them up by under their arms as well, from behind. Underarms from behind, so holding their back. But Jun's hat's attached on that pretty solid, so it's easier to move her just by picking her up by her hat. It's kind of funny to do as well. You just get more suspicious by the second. I suppose so. I wish you would deny that. And needless to say, my dolls have no will of their own. Well, all of my Fumos are over on the shelf. I can see them, but Jun's on my desk because she's I guess she's a little bit special. You mean that don't have any thoughts or feelings? Chen's hat fell off her head and I can't get it back on, so now it just rests on her head. I seriously have no idea why, but I cannot get her hat back on, and I've like given up trying. I put Ron's hat back on, but she looks better without the hat. Her hat is goofy. I like her little fox ears. That's right, dolls are ultimately only tools made in the shape of people. But you were talking about the trust between puppet and puppeteer back there. I only meant to say that if you do not handle them with that kind of mindset, you cannot call yourself a true puppeteer. No matter how it might appear to you, in the end I understand that my dolls are merely dolls. But it's true that as the years have gone by, I've come to think of them as my own children. Still, that's an entirely different story. Yeah, when I found out the hats could be taken off, I took Chen's hat off and I couldn't get it back on, so I stopped fucking with their hats. I don't touch their hats now. It's like, if I take their hat off, their power level decreases, so I leave it alone. These girls could not attack anyone without someone's intentions driving them to do it. So if the dolls attacked, it was because someone else made them do it. Right, but I do not know who that might be. Even so, someone other than you could have committed this crime. It would not be impossible, at least. For now, let's hope that's going to be enough. I believe we've heard enough for the time being. From this testimony, you should all understand now that this crime could have been committed by someone other than the defendant. But there's nothing to suggest the defendant couldn't have done it herself. Now that the possibility that there could be another culprit has been shown, it would be good to deny that Miss Alice could have committed the crime at all. Right, if we could do something like that, the path to victory would be laid open before us. Yama, I demand further testimony from the defendant. And what sort of testimony would that be? Where was she at the time of the crime? The last witness never saw her at the scene. If we could know where the defendant was in reality, this matter would be resolved quite easily. Indeed, does the defendant have any objection to this? I do not. Did Alice waver a bit there? In that case, the defendant will testify again. Doll maker in her travels. Uh-oh, she's gonna lie. Even if you ask where I was, I'm afraid I cannot give you a clear and accurate answer. I awoke to the sound of that window breaking, and then I left home in search of the criminal. I flew here and there through the whole of Gensokyo, and not even I could tell you where I was at the time of the incident. But I can promise you that when medicine was attacked, I was not in the forest of magic. Uh-oh. She's hiding. A little too vague, maybe. Well, that's the best way to go about pulling the wool over people's eyes. But that vagueness is gonna turn into a noose around your neck before long. Dude, Mei-Ling is very salty about her matchup chart against Alice in 7.5. That's what this is. She's very angry about that matchup. I cannot deny that, but I believe the truth will naturally reveal itself one way or another. Quite a laudable mindset, I must say. And with that defense, your cross-examination, please. Where was Alice at the time of the incident if I can show that once and for all? All we can do is try. Right, I'll prove it without fail. Uh-oh. Is that really something you can't answer? Because today was so hectic from the very start? I'm sorry, but my memories are a blur. I see. Do you at least remember where you went? All kinds of scenery come to mind, but I can't say of any places I visited today with confidence. I apologize. I'm not being much help, am I? No, it's fine. Continue your testimony. I awoke to the sound of that window breaking, and then I left home in search of the criminal. You were hunting for the thief up until the moment of your arrest. Yes, that sounds about right. But that criminal was never caught in the end. In fact, I was the one caught in their stead. This is no joke. I flew here and there through the whole against Sokyo, and not even I can tell you where I was at the time of the incident. You really can't tell us anything about that time. Well, I didn't need a watch to hunt a thief. And even if I had brought a watch, I wouldn't have been able to any reason to be checking the time. I suppose so. But then there's no way for you to prove an alibi. That's fine, since presenting proof is my attorney's job, isn't it? Are we playing hot potato now? But I can promise you when the medicine was attacked, I was not in the forest of magic. And your proof of that is... I don't have any. Of course you don't. Shouldn't you just give up at this point? You've asked your questions and no new facts have come up. God, why is my leg so sore? It hurts to bend it. Isn't there anything we can do? That would be much easier if I knew. At the very least, we will require some sort of trace that places the defendants elsewhere. I have something. Trace Alice was elsewhere, you say. That face you're making, it's the face of someone who's about to present evidence, isn't it? A sign that Alice was elsewhere? I believe I can present something like that. In that case, let us see it. Evidence that indicates where the defendant might have gone this morning. Kudai! This is the proof. Isn't this a doll? Yes, one of Alice's dolls. And what's it got to do with anything? This particular doll is a lost item. A lost item? Yes, and a certain someone picked it up in a certain place this morning. Who and where are you talking about then? The who is your very own subordinate Shinigami. That is to say, Komachi Onozuka. And the where is the Sanzu River. The Sanzu River? And that might mean Alice went to the Sanzu today. Furthermore, there isn't any doubt Alice was away from home this morning. But the real question is, when was this doll lost? For all we know, this thing could have been dropped there yesterday. No, that would be unlikely. Huh? Why do you say that? Many Shinigami are at work throughout the Sanzu River at every hour of each day. Something this eye-catching would not have escaped notice very long. I don't mean to doubt your words or anything, but what if it fell somewhere it might have been overlooked? Yes, that may be so. We should hear about the discovery. What the discoverer has to say before anything else. Neither of you will object to this, I hope. I welcome it. I don't mind. Then Komachi, take the witness stand. Now, Komachi, were you listening? Yeah, you're talking about that doll, right? Tell us, when and where did you pick this up exactly? I told you earlier, but I picked this little lady up a little bit before 9 this morning. I found her on the Sansu's riverbank. And the bank of the Sansu River is a rather open space. It does not seem likely it would have been overlooked. You said it. I don't think it could have been lying there for very long when I found it. And that means Alice must have gone to the Sansu River this morning, like I said. Yeah, you're probably right about that. Well, that alone doesn't really change anything. She's not wrong. The real issue is time. Like Komachi said, if the suspect lost this doll near the Sansu this morning, that was at some point before 9. And it was around 9 that Medicine was attacked by dolls in the Forest of Magic. Even if Alice had to move from the Sansu River to the forest in that time span, it could still be totally doable time-wise. So this isn't going to hold up as an alibi. I'm sure Alice went to the Sansu River, but I don't have any evidence to prove the time. Perhaps we should end today's proceedings here. Sure. Sorry to say, but the prosecution doesn't have any other evidence or testimony ready right now. Testimony? Then today's hearing will end here. No, Tenchi, it's okay. Not so fast, Yama. I still have more proof to present. No, I don't. But what now? That's right. Where there's no evidence, we can still turn to testimony. But is there anyone who can testify as to Miss Alice's comings and goings this morning? We already know of someone. Could you mean... Yama, I demand a new witness to be summoned. And will that witness be able to resolve this problem once and for all? Certainly. Then I will allow the defense to issue a summons. However, if you call on a person clearly unrelated to this case, to this affair, you shall suffer a penalty. I have no idea who she's talking about. I understand. In that case, defense, who will you be summoning as a witness? I don't know. That one. And why this person? I think they've had a provably probable relationship. What? Provable? That is a relationship that is probably provable. Defense, were you not going to summon a witness? Was that a mistake after all? Indubitably. Just think back, me. We only know of one person who has been right. I remember now. I forgot. I forgot about Patchy's blood. That one. Whoa! Why are you dragging Miss Patchley into this? I completely forgot about the whole blood thing. I was thinking more like, oh, Komachi found the doll and Komachi wanted to ask Alice about something, so maybe they met earlier or something like that. I don't know. You may not know this, but Patchley collided with Alice and got a nosebleed for her troubles today. A nosebleed? The point is, she's one of the few people who saw Alice this morning. Don't you think it may be worth hearing her testimony? It would certainly be of interest. Patchouli, I know you're watching from the gallery. So get down here and testify. There's no need to shout. Here I am. Thank you for granting us some of your time. No, it's no bother. Then are you prepared to testify about your encounter with the defendant from this morning? Yes, most certainly. The traffic accident. It was around 9 o'clock this morning. I was on my way to bring an indictment to your honor concerning a case unrelated to this trial. And as I flew over Muenzuka, I suddenly collided with Alice. I hit my head in the process, and so I do not remember the details very clearly, but I am certain Alice was the one who bumped into me. But it was an accident, and the other party apologized, so I decided we should just forget about it. I see. Then this encounter took place around the time of the incident. That appears to be the case. For now, shall we visualize the situation a little? At that time, I was headed to the Sanzu River to meet with you, Your Honor. To reach the Sanzu from Gensokyo, one must go through the Forest of Magic, follow the road to reconsideration, and arrive at Muenzuka. You know what's interesting? This is actually accurate to Puppet Dance Performance map. However, Muenzuka is Moensuka is on the end. It's on the edge of Gensokyo. Moensuka itself doesn't lead to the road of liminality. But the road of liminality does in fact lead to the Sanzu River. So this is a bit of a strange map structure with the way it is. But for all intents and purposes, it's necessary for the case to make sense. From there, you can pass through a rift in the barrier and follow the road to liminality to the Sanzu River. Well, there's the explanation. The explanation is the road to liminality is outside of Gensokyo, and they go through the barrier. But that doesn't really, you know, the road to liminality doesn't really work like that. Also, yokai tend to steer clear of Moensuka because going through the barrier there by accident kind of means you can't go back in. It's easy to slip out and not be able to find your way back in. So that's why Moensuka is pretty abandoned. But I get what the game is going for here. Remember, this game came out a long time ago anyway. Looking at it like this, the path to the Sanzu is almost a straight line from the Forest of Magic. And you flew over this road on your way to the Sanzu. Correct, however, I collided with Alice near Moensuka. A beep! And that was around the time the incident occurred. Yes, so it appears. But in that case, Alice must be innocent. Not a chance. After attacking the victim, the defendant could have run into Miss Patchley while fleeing the scene. That is one possibility, certainly. As expected, it won't be that easy. In any case, the defense may cross-examine. No matter what, cross-examination has to prove that at the time of the crime, Alice was at the Sanzu River. Okay. Red eyes, blue hair, blue eyes. Ah, orange hair. And you're certain about that? I am. I was on official business at the time, after all. But it sounds like it turned into a real disaster. You have no idea. Why did this all have to happen on an already busy day? Damn it, they're drifting off topic. For the time being, continue your testimony. Ah, right. I was on my way to bring an indictment to your honor concerning a case unrelated to this trial. And that case is completely unrelated to ours. It concerns property damage at the Hakode Shrine. As we'd arrested a suspect, I was on my way to bring charges before the judge. And on the way, you bumped into Alice. That is correct. And as I flew over Moensuka, I suddenly collided with Alice. Just how did you end up flying into each other? I have to admit my memory of the event is quite faint. You were the one hit, but you don't remember it. Seriously, how the hell do you run into each other in the air like that? Alice and I were flying at the time, then the force of the impact caused me to stall. Stall warning. I fell to the ground and hit my head, and so I vaguely remember the details. Damn, she took a massive fall. So you do not remember how you were hit at all? I'm afraid not, however my back hurt terribly when I came to my senses. And so I am quite sure I was struck from behind. Let's summarize all this for a bit. First off, Miss Patchley flew from the Forest of Magic towards the Sanzu, and the defendant struck Miss Patchley from behind. You have to go down like this, right? The defendant flew in from the Forest of Magic. In short, she was fleeing the scene of the crime. Gah. Things have taken a turn for the worse. Witness, this is an extremely important fact. Amend your testimony at once. Understood. As I flew over Moensuka, Alice suddenly collided with me from behind. But how did you get a nosebleed? So you were struck from behind? Yes, I believe so. I remember my back hurting. Honestly, this could have turned out really badly. I suppose. Still, Alice took care of me afterwards. Huh. That was very decent of her. Had it been the young heiress, there would undoubtedly have turned into a hit and run. Be quiet. I have my head in the process, so I do not remember the details very clearly. And do you remember or do you not? Well, I remember there was a collision. I only do not remember what happened in the moment. It is truly a relief you seem to be unhurt. It's no use. You mean there won't be any hard feelings? That's right. It is not only Alice's fault that I was hit. Ultimately, I might have avoided her if I had been more attentive. Why does it sound like they're talking about Danmaku? But it still feels like a bit different from usual. If it was unintentional and apologies were made, it would be wrong to reproach the defendant overmuch. A very commendable reconciliation. But if everybody could always reconcile like this, there wouldn't be any need for Danmaku battles or trials. Lady Hinanai, did you glean any clues that might lead to an acquittal from this testimony? The time of that accident is in line with that of the crime that might be extremely significant. But as Miss Mailing has said, that could have happened immediately after the incident. That is the question. In other words, what we should be asking here is, where did Alice come from? If I can just prove that, I can prove that. You must be mistaken about this. Whatever do you mean? Don't you remember? When you bumped against Alice, you got a nosebleed. A nosebleed? Apparently, she truly doesn't remember. You bled from your nose, and here is the proof. And that means you struck Alice face first. That's not... I definitely had an ache in my back. Couldn't that be because you hurt both your head and your back when you fell to the ground? Well then, this was how I flew into Alice? No doubt, you certainly flew into Alice's face first. But the question is, where did your face hit Alice? Well, if blood from Miss Patchoulie's nose got on it, then her face must have pressed against that scarf. Yes, in other words, Patchouli, you stuck your face into Alice's breasts. What? Order in the gallery. Get a hold of yourselves. I can't believe it. Miss Patchouli's face and Alice's... Anyway, I object. Do you object to your face having been put in the defendant's chest? No, that's not it. What I meant to say is the defense's claim is utterly meaningless. Oh, these are fighting words. Careful. If you get too excited, blood might spray out of your nose again. You stay out of this. As I was saying, the exact details of how I collided with Alice have nothing to do with this discussion. Right. The defense hasn't proven anything with that. In fact, this is only an attempt at throwing this hearing into chaos for her own pleasure. That was a rather unwise thing to do, wasn't it? No, it's fine. I am doing no such thing. If you actually believe my arguments have no meaning, then the two of you are truly beyond help. Well, I don't buy it. Even if Miss Patchouli got a face full of Alice's boobs, what's it matter? Don't say it like that! The only point still in question is where Alice came from. At that time of the collision, you, Patchouli, were flying towards the Sanzu River. And the both of you collided head-on. With this information, we can very easily deduce where Alice was immediately before this. Yes, at the time of the crime, Alice was... right there. The Sanzu River. How do you know that? What? You really want to keep playing dumb? As we've all been saying, Patchouli was flying from the Forest of Magic to the Sanzu River, and at the time she hit Alice from the front. To put it simply, this is how Alice and Patchouli flew into each other. Ah! So it seems you finally understand. That nosebleed wasn't such ridiculous evidence after all, was it? It's not right. Being beat by evidence this dumb. Around the hour of the crime, Alice and Patchouli flew into one another. At that time, Alice came from the Sanzu River. And that means Alice was by the Sanzu River when the doll attack took place. No way! This discovery seems to answer all remaining doubts. At the time of the incident, the defendant was somewhere else entirely, and this crime would have been possible for individuals other than her. With the above facts standing unchallenged, all suspicions against the defendant have been cleared. You've done it, Lady Hinanai. Naturally. For me, victory is always a certainty. I will therefore hand down my verdict on the defendant, Alice Murgatroyd. But wait a minute, who did it then? Well, somebody has to go to jail. And so court is adjourned for today. There's no way the case is just over now, right? I mean, I got the acquittal. Phew, I need a break. That is the feeling of work well done, Lady Hinanai. Good grief, today was awful in so many ways. Is this about the breast business? Stop it already, it really is embarrassing. But wasn't it crucial to your acquittal? That only makes it worse. But all is well. Your innocence has been proven. Yes, I truly am glad deep down. Thank you, Tenshi. This actually doesn't feel too bad, being thanked like this. That might be because you've only ever drawn scorn, Lady Hinanai. Every single time you have to get a word in. Then perhaps you'll grant me a chance to get a word in myself. Ah, you're... It's been quite a while, Celestial. We only ever seem to meet when they hold these trials. It's the little bloodsucker. What might the police want with us? Somehow I doubt you'd come all this way to congratulate us on the acquittal. That goes without saying. I've come to discuss another matter. Just like I thought. There really is no escaping fate after all. That's what makes fate what it is. And as I expected, you know what is coming for you already. What is the meaning of this, Miss Vermilia? Today was quite the hectic day, you see. Even before that poisoned doll was assaulted, yet another incident had already taken place by the Sanzu River. The Sanzu? It can't be. And there were no witnesses to the crime, which made investigating quite difficult. But thankfully, a suspect suddenly materialized just now. Hold it right there. Are you going to call Alice a criminal just because she went to the Sanzu today? The Sanzu is rarely visited by the average yokai. That goes double for humans, needless to say. Nevertheless, Alice went there alone this morning. Surely you understand what that means. But that's just... And of course, we have evidence now. Of the decisive kind, you see. Why? Now then, it appears I will be having you over tonight after all, Alice. Fine, but I hope you'll have tea and cookies ready. There isn't much else to enjoy in that room. Ah, of course. I will have Sakuya prepare them on the double. But now, shall we be on our way? Lady Hinanai. How did this happen? I only wanted to help Alice. Did I really just make things worse for her? What was I doing? I don't understand. Why did it turn out like this? We should return home for now. It is already quite late today, so we should go and hear what Miss Alice has to tell us tomorrow. Right. And Alice and I will have a lot to talk about. Huh. I got her free of one crime, and now we're on another crime. April 16th, 8:56. Heaven. Good morning to you, Lady Hinanai. Day 2. And this is where the game must cease. I gotta stop here. Damn. I went over time, but at the same time, this VOD isn't even like 2 hours long, but that's because Pikmin went for 3.5. Woo, I am starving, dude. I am starving. But there you go. We got a taste of the case. It's nice that it's Tenshi and Iku. So, yeah. Odds are, you know, the second half investigations are never quite as long. So there's a good chance that I can kind of, I don't really know how I want to like pursue it. Maybe next time I play, I just do the rest of this case and stop. But if there's like plenty of time, I might just get the first investigation day done. And then like, maybe I can finish the rest. I don't really know. It's hard to space this kind of thing without prior knowledge of how long it'll go. And of course, I might get stuck and whatnot. So I'll just feel it out, see what I can do. That's all. But yeah, next time I play, it'll be Monday, I think. Yeah, we'll get the remainder of that case, see what's going on.